Hi folks, this is Nikki from Nikki Art. I'm a metalsmith entrepreneur. I have my own website and I love making jewelry and other little metal things. And today we're going to talk a little bit on how to make a really easy and fun project, how to make a bypass ring. Bypass rings are really easy to make and you do not need to solder, which you don't have to have the gas, you don't have to have the fire. It's something that you can do in with a pretty much just basic metalsmithing tools. So what we need for that is your metal. I got sterling silver, but you can also use copper, bronze, brass, aluminum, any type of metal that you like. With bypass rings, if you rock them from hand, I would not go anything thicker than 16 gauge. This one is 18 gauge, which is a pretty good thickness for rings in general, for bypass rings, because they're easier to bend and form on a ring mandrel. The thicker you go, the harder it is to actually hammer it in shape. So what you also need is a V-clamp that clamps onto the table. That's for sawing, and I have my bench block, which is steel. That is then for making textures on your ring, anything like that. Hammer is very important. My saw. Now I use a German saw frame. This is a six inch saw frame. I like the size because if you have something that's really long, you don't have to navigate that much. Then there's 4 inch, those are shorter, and there's 8 inch that are longer. The 8 inch I don't like. They feel unbalanced for me, but it's purely preference, of course. The saw blades I am using are fairly thin. This is a 1/0, so they're pretty thin actually. And don't worry, you will probably, if you haven't done a lot of sawing, you will probably break a couple of those saw blades because they're very easily breakable. All right, so saw blade we have there. Now, a really easy way to do different kinds of shapes in jewelry is if you have templates. Now, those are templates. They're mostly out of plastic. We have Cool Tools. It's a really good company that makes these. It's called cooltools.us. Let me write that. Tools.us is, they have tons of those. They're not very expensive. Most of them are $7 or $8 for one of these. This is very easy if you wanna do shapes that you repeat and repeat and repeat again, so that you have the same results and the same quality of items all the time. Then we also have another company, is Quick Art. I'm not sure if they're still around, and Bucket Jelly. Like I said, I like mostly the Cool Tools. They have lots of templates. They're actually a company doing, what do you call it? The clay, the metal clay that you can fire. But these are working very well with jewelry applications too, like your normal metalsmithing with the metal. So with bypass ring, you always want to go pretty long size, so 3 inch to about 4 inch, depending on what your ring finger size is. I usually go about 3.5 inch for the length, because with the bypass ring you want to go, that's why the bypass, you want to go one time around and then overlap it a little bit. So this is 3.5 inch Now, I would love to, because we're almost there with Valentine's Day, I would love to make a ring with a heart. That's an arrow. So I like the heart on this one, but I like the feather in the back on that one. So I'm just going to combine these and draw right on my metal. You could also use label paper. It's sticky paper. So you just draw anything out on the label paper, tear it off or cut it out, and then stick it on your metal. I actually have done this with these shapes. Those were wolves I've done, and I have to draw these out. Actually, those are hand drawn first on the sticky paper, and then. So I'm not very big with my fingers, so I'm going to use the smaller one and just going to draw the heart on. And then go and draw the rest. Now, as you can see, you always have to a little bit adjust with these, like lines are usually pretty thin. So I usually go and make some of the lines a little bit wider, because you don't want things to snap and be still usable. And so about 3 millimeters wide. That should be a really good size. So then I'm going to draw on my feather. Now again, I always usually draw a little bit more or make things a little bit rounder. The edges here are a little bit sharp, so I always round things out because you want to be comfortable wearing it and don't poke yourself. There you go. So now that we have drawn this on our sheet of metal, I am going to cut it out. Now I'm pretty fast with cutting, and I usually don't break my blades anymore, but it's going to take a while, so I'm going to start. It's going to be a little bit loud. What you want to do with sawing is you want to actually go right in front of it. You have your V right there where you actually can put your saw blade. That's what it's for. There, you put your metal on and you start sawing. Now with these jewelry saws, because they're really, really thin, what you want to do is not push into the metal, because when you push into the metal, you will break the blade. What you do is you just go up and down and really just slightly push into it. And notice how I also turn the metal. So you don't want to really turn your arm with your saw blade too much. Always try and turn it with your left hand or your right hand, whatever is the dominant one, and move the metal instead of the saw blade. Then you go around corners, and around corners you also don't want to push, you want to jog in place. So no forward pushing, just jogging until you are at the angle that you like, and then you slowly go out. be careful with your fingers. It's easy to just really, really quickly hack into them and actually cut yourself with the saw. So be careful. Again and around. Just jogging right now. Now you have cut out your little shape. You have the hop. We have the feather. And this is the basis for your life. All right. So I don't know how long that took me, a couple of minutes to saw that out. The thicker you go, the longer it will take you to cut out. What I want to do now is I just want to clean up the metal really, really quickly from the Sharpie that I used. So what I like and what I have for cleaning is a great product. It's from Rio Grande, and it is sanding pads. So what they are, they're actually spongy. So you can form them and get really into tight corners and get things clean. And you just tear a little piece off. And then you clean it up just a tad. Just so that I see that where I can place my lines the best. There you go. All right. So now what I want to do is I want to add a little bit of patterns and a little bit of texture, because I mean, if you like the plain one, you can also do it plain and don't add texture, but I always like a little bit of texture on my things. This is a chasing tool. It's kind of like a chisel and has a very sharp point. Now, if you don't have that, a good thing to have is just a screwdriver or anything that is steel that has a little bit of a point to it. So what I do now is I line this up with my feather right in the middle. And then you can see right there. Line that up and just quickly hammer. Now don't do it too strong. I just kind of let it fall on it. If you do, if you really rack it, like my husband's done with some of my stuff, is you can actually end up splitting the metal. So you don't want to do that. So I have my center line. Ooh. Oh, I hope you can see it. There's my center line, and then I want to go and make it look like a feather. Really actually just lightly tap. You don't even hammer that much or put a lot of pressure on there. Turn it around and do the other side. And And the cool thing is with handmade, you don't have to be precise. It's handmade is handmade. It has character. It's fun. Always have fun. If it's not fun anymore, then stop. All right, so we have it. And there we go. So I've made my feather in the end, and then I have the heart here. And do you want an extra heart? Double heart? Yeah, I can do a double heart. So I have a metal stamp that is a little heart. And I want to do an extra heart because it's Valentine's Day. And I feel extra loving. So line this up again and again. Just let it fall. And you have your little heart on there. Actually, this way. You will see that a little bit easier when I added patina. There you go. Now, do I have enough texture or do I want more? I like texture, I want more. So, I am looking and see if I can find a nice pattern that I like. Now, patterns are really cool. There's actually artists that make patterned stamps out of rebar. And those are usually Native Americans actually around here in Arizona, in New Mexico, Colorado. And they make them by hand. I do know how to do it, but to be honest, it's a lot of work. So I usually just buy them. Every now and then I get one gifted. So what I want to do is I want to line this up on my, so I'm now wanting to do this part right here. So I'm lining these up. Now this stamp is a little bit bigger, so you have to whack it a little bit harder. There we go. And I'm just going to go all on. Now, as you can tell, this is fairly loud. So if I'm not doing the video, I actually always wear my headphones, have a little music, anything like that, so that I don't damage my ears. And the last one. And there we have it. We have it all stamped out. And excuse my dirty fingernails, but that's what you get when you do metalsmithin. So what I want to do now is, because I have a maker stamp, so I want to make sure that people know it's from me. So I stamp that on the inside of the ring. And because I use sterling silver, I also have a 925 stamp, which I also stamp on there, so people know it's sterling silver. So now what you have is basically the raw form. You already have it stamped out. What you want to do is file everything nice and round, because right now it's pretty sharp and still rough, and you want to not have it rough so that you feel comfortable wearing it. So I have several files, half round, flat. This one is, what is that? Is that a 1 or 2? This one is the number 2. And this one is, I can't even read it. Oh, that's a number 4. So the 4 indicates that it's a little bit finer, and this is a little bit more coarse. What I want to do is I want to go around to make sure, because your saw kind of leaves little serrated edges when you saw, and you don't want to have that. So with these files, what you do, you're always filing in one direction. You're filing in the forward direction. when you do it in the other direction, the teeth are so designed that you actually only remove the metal in that forward direction. So I always brace myself, put it down here. Just go and make it a little bit more smooth. Do the other side too. Now I only do a little bit because I'm also going into the polishing with the flex shaft, and that's where you really get nice and round edges. Do the feather. I always kind of feel how much I'm taking off. Is it too much? Is it getting a little bit more round so that it doesn't hurt anymore? Is it catching anywhere? This is pretty good, and again, the rest I will take care of with my flex shaft. Excuse me. Alright, so now that we have filed the edges, what we want to do is go and form. So in order to form your ring, you need a ring mandrel. I have a steel one, which has the numbers right on there so that you know which ring size. And we also need a nylon hammer. Mallet? I think it's a hammer. I think you call it a hammer. Still. I have a heavy one. I rarely actually use that one. I use this one because this one has sand in it and gives you a little bit of an extra oomph. This one I use for like really for bigger pieces and if I really need to hammer something out. Now this is a nylon. These are nylon ends so that you don't mar your metal because you do not want to use. You don't want to use a metal hammer on that to form it because then you just destroy your metal with it. Always use to form, always use something with nylon heads or rawhide, anything like that. So we have our ring. Now what I want to do is form it. This is really still a thin metal, so you really don't need a lot of strength with it. I just wrap it around. As you can see, I kind of pulled it apart in this so that one is higher than the other. And wrap it around. Like that. Now you can see it's still not really wrapped around, so the rest you just hammer. You hold with your thumb. Just be careful that you don't hammer your thumb, because that's going to hurt. So you hold with your fingers and with your thumb and with the forefinger of the other hand so that it doesn't move too much, and you just tap. I know you don't want to go like that. You actually really just want to tap. First of all, you don't want to injure yourself. Second of all, you don't need to hammer this out too much. And then you check if it's round. If it's not round, you just hammer until you get to the size you like. Now, if you're with bypass rings, it's really easy to adjust the size up or down. So you either go down and make it bigger, or you go up and you make it smaller. That's why bypass rings are one of my favorites. You don't have to solder, you don't need the heat and all the other things that you need to do. And there you have. You can adjust it with the fingers again a little bit. Make sure it's all round. There you go. It's all round. And it is nicely overlapping. There you go. So that's how you form it. After you're done forming, now we have put that really nice pattern on it. In order to get that pattern out and make it really visible, you want to put patina on it. There is several possibilities how to put patina on sterling silver. One is you use liver of sulfur. Comes either as a gel form or as looks like little rocks, and you put it in warm water. Usually people use a crock pot or anything like that and heat it up, put a little bit in there, and then you stick your sterling in, and you have to have another basket with water, another bucket with water, and you just kind of dip and dip and dip and dip until you get the desired blackness, brownness. Liver of sulfur can you also give you a really nice bluish color. It really depends on how hot you make it and how much and how long you leave it in there. Now, I discovered a couple years ago black mix, which is tellurium. You shouldn't drink it. It's a skin irritant, ice, of course, and you should not drink. Like I said, you should not drink it, but actually not that toxic. And it doesn't smell, which is good. The liver of sulfur is sulfuric, so it smells like literally rotten eggs. And if you do it a while, and if you do a lot of pieces all at the same time, your hair and your clothing will smell. That's why I like the black wax. Again, I like Rio Grande, but you get it pretty much everywhere. So, protecting my fingers using a glove, and I'm just going to put this on my lap just in case I spill, because I like my pants. Now I have, for different patinas, I have different, what do you call those? Drawing a blank here. Different brushes, thank you. Different brushes for different patinas. All right, so brush only for this, the other brush is for a different kind of patina. So what I want to do is I want to blacken my sterling. So I just get a little bit, wipe it off, and go into the pattern and just brush it on. There you go. All nice and brushed up. Don't forget to close because you don't want to spill it. And then I just dry it off with a rag or an old t-shirt like here, or anything you have. Just to dry it off, and it's actually here you have the results really immediately. So it's getting a black really, really fast. Make sure that everything is dry. Yep. No, we're almost done, so all we have to do is just clean it up and get rid of all the excess blackness so that the black only stays in the stamp or in the pattern. So I'm taking my flex shaft, which is, I have a Fordham, but there's other ones out there. I have had the Fordham and I like it because it's actually never broke on me. I've had it since almost 10 years and I'm using it daily, very, very often. So yeah, I like it. Has a foot pedal, so if you want to turn it on, you're actually stepping on that foot pedal and then it spins the head. Now what I'm using is 3M 80 grit bristle brush, and I use 3. So those are the bristle brushes, and you put 3 together and they have to face all in the same direction. So that's what you do. Use 3, put it on your flex shaft and step on your pedal. Now you can adjust the speed of the spinning with that. The harder you press, of course, the faster it goes. And I just want a medium pipe. And I'm doing the inside first. Get it all nice and clean, and then I also want to go around the edge. So be careful, you always have a firm grip on it because this is so fast, it's just going to fling your ring through the roof. So I'm going around the edges, and that's what makes it also smooth and nice and comfy to wear. Flip it over to the other side. Now I have done something that you shouldn't do. You should wear a mask when you're doing that, so don't do what I'm doing. Okay. And when the inside and the outer edge is nice and done, you want to get your pattern out. Remember the spongy pad? That's when you use it. And what I'm just doing is just kind of, you don't want to do and go in every direction. You want to go pretty much, if you want a nice and clean mirror finish, you only want to go in one direction. Now, if you want a little bit of a rustic finish, you can go in every direction you so desire and take as much off as you want, or leave as much on as you want. And you don't want to push too much because you don't want to deform the ring while you're doing it. And like I said, the good thing is of those pads is that you can just squish and scrunch and go wherever you need to go. If I want a little bit of a higher polished finish, I'm using another type of polishing pad, which they are called, it's like a pro polish cleaning pad. You actually also use them to clean your regular sterling silver jewelry that you have at home that kind of got tarnished. It doesn't take off any material, it's just kind of cleaning off the excess patina and any kind of tarnish. And just in here again. And there you go, we are finished with our ring. You can see it. I'm gonna take a picture and post it online so you can really see it. We have our pattern. There you go. So, I don't know what to use. Put it on your finger. Not my fingers, I have weird fingers. They're dirty and kind of acidic. Oh, but that's a nice ring. Really easy to do, you don't have to solder. And that's the lesson for today. If you have any questions, of course you can always ask. Write me a message over Facebook or write me an email. I also have a website. This is my website here, metalsmithin.com. Yeah, I have a couple of my designs there for you to purchase if you want to, or for just looking around and seeing what you can do. And I hope it was a little bit of fun.